Let's go to LeBron wants to play with his son.
Oh, okay.
Something a little more wholesome, I guess.
Yeah. So
Away
I
from
guess,
all this war.
We might not get to, man. If
you
it
can
fucking
you can
ripples
just
out
type
far
in
enough.
LeBron wants to play with his son if you want to.
So,
Doc,
basi-
Ethan wants to know if you're wearing nail polish.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend, she painted my nails.
put him in the camera. Let me see this.
They're just black, bro.
Like his heart.
Yeah.
Doc doesn't have a black heart. That's funny. Doc's exterior may be black, but the inside Doc's a bunch of flowers. We're fighting depression.
My heart is broken, and I'm fighting depression.
So give us the
LeBron just
rundown
type in
LeBron thing. I don't know he for him to search.
So basically, during All Star, I was gonna tell him just type in LeBron wants to play with his son. During All Star weekend, basically he was interviewed. He was asked about if he thinks his tenure is gonna last with the Lakers, if he's gonna stay there, retire there, or whatever. And LeBron was pretty he's upset with the Lakers right now because there's been some misinformation put out or whatever about how the team was constructed and whose fault it is, but that's beside the point. So he was trying to take a jab at the team, and he lets it be known. He says, "No, I could definitely see myself playing in Cleveland again." And he says, "But my plan is to. He said my last year will be played with my son." He said, "And anything I can do, wherever Bronny is at, I'll be at, and whatever I can do to get there, I'll do it." So the question was, a lot of people were asking. And, oh, by the way, LeBron's son is not seen as that great of a player. I think he's ranked 43 in his class. So that's late second round at best. So, you know what I'm saying? That's not to count for sleepers, kids that go to small schools that might sneak up in the draft above him. So he might go undrafted if he was a one and done. So a lot of people are saying, okay, now if I'm a team in the lottery and I don't have the top 5 draft pick, but maybe I have the 10th pick or the 7th pick. Might I go and get Bronny just so I can sign LeBron James? And is that fair? Because there's going to be at least one player, if he was going to go undrafted, that goes undrafted because he went drafted. Or to that point, if he goes higher in the draft than he would need to, the pay scale for every player after him is now changed because they go a draft one spot lower.
That's a big slap in the face with the whole meritocracy thing that we believe in.
So what do y'all think it's do y'all think it was his intention to leverage getting his son into the NBA like for sure, or do you think it was just him simply stating
it was leverage.
It's a goal of mine to play with my son? And
I'm sure it's okay to have okay. My question is, how did he vocalize that goal? Like, where was it?
All-Star weekend.
So I think that's understanding the environment and place and the eyes that are on this.
All-Star weekend was also held in Cleveland. Yeah.
So that might have been allowed. This is what I want. This is probably where I want. You all listening?
Yeah, no, he definitely did it on purpose. I don't think LeBron's
Yeah, that's where I'm coming. I think it was.
Yeah, LeBron's too calculated. He definitely did it on purpose. But okay, so how do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about like the nepotism, like the?
Well, it's definitely nepotism. It's
Definitely.
ironic that they call him the king.
I mean, if it was me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, why not? Last time we talked about something like this, we were joking about this. I was like, of course I would want to play with my son. I feel like that's every dad's dream to. Even the sons want to play with their dad, especially if you're the greatest. Like, that's also a great experience. Not only was I raised by this man, now I get to play with this man. It's an experience that a lot of people probably dream of having, so it help them in their one career and two skills. It's just, I guess the problem is,
correct.
He doesn't have the merit. Because if he was good, this probably would have exactly
needed to say
exactly. But the fact that he's, what'd you say, what rank?
43 in his grade. He's not even the best player on his high school team. Like, that's 40 just in his grade.
Wait, how old is he again?
He's 16.
17, it says
17?
right here.
He just turned 17.
Oh, 17.
Oh, yeah,
What if he
he's
just
a
goes to
junior.
college instead of signing directly out of high school? Just goes to college to prove himself.
He's definitely going to college.
Okay.
He has to go to college.
He's just a little bit. I don't know if that's early. I guess 4 years. I guess
so
you can say a little seed.
1 more year, 18.
Maybe 2.
If he plays a college year. But the thing is, the way it looks right now, he won't be ready after 1 year. So does he now?
2
is
years?
LeBron putting pressure on his son to rush out of college to catch him? Because 2 years, we're talking about LeBron playing in the league for 21 years at that point. 21 years.
What's the max? The most anyone's ever played in the
I
league?
think it's 21 or 22.
Okay.
Vince Carter, who just retired. I don't see nobody. And LeBron's averaging 28 points a game at 37. So,
and he could take a different role though that we can make him last longer. Instead of being more of the active guy, like I'm here for my son. I'm making him the active guy. So he takes supporting lead with him.
What about the players on the team? And if he's active guy, why is
as
Bronny
an owner though?
shots?
As an owner, is that something you risk though?
Yes. Let me tell you why. LeBron increases the economy. This is not figuratively. He literally increases the economy of every place he goes by 400%.
The financial incentive,
Literally.
especially of the father-son duo, you can definitely sell that and market that. That's a story.
When he left Cleveland,
dynasty.
Do you know how bad the town? Like they lost hundreds of millions. The city, they couldn't. Nobody wanted to do anything in Cleveland. There's no LeBron. He carries so much weight when he moves to your town. So like, and yeah, if he's drafted higher, he would get a better contract. So like I said, it would affect everybody's contract after him. So I don't know. I don't mind it. I'm gonna be honest with you. The real reason I don't mind it is because literally every father in any other position of power anywhere
do the same
does
thing.
the same thing.
And does the same thing.
Like even
Facts.
at my company, the owner's son works. He's not probably the best, the most intelligent or the most well trained or the most experienced, but he's still. You know what I'm saying? The owner's son. So he comes in with his suit and he
got privileges.
He got his chest out. So
or maybe not privileges. He just got that skip.
Yeah. There you go. So that the entitlement. So I can't be mad at it. I just can't be mad at it. Generationally, I can't be mad at it. I think it's more funny if he sucks and then he ends up playing and then like, do you know what the fans will do?
But is that wrong then? Because some people will probably be like, I can't wait for this to play out because either one side is for the next greatest of all time. Like this could honestly be really cool to watch. Like literally, like I was saying in Dynasty, straight up, like LeBron that teaches son, the son that takes over. That'd be kind of cool story. And then there's other side where it's like, I want to see the failure.
Yeah, but I mean,
because it'd be funny. Like,
it'd be
forgive
hilarious.
me, God forgive me, but that would be funny.
I know it's bad. It'd be hilarious, but in every other field, you would be able to cover up the son's flaws. Here,
you can't.
And
he's got to perform.
Question: do y'all think he spoke with his son before saying this?
I'm gonna assume he's a good father, so yes. And I don't know if that's biased of me to say or whatever.
He should
that would be the case though.
Barred from playing on the same team as his son. This is just straight coercion and nepotism. If this were a white guy doing this, the NBA would be sued. Okay, Ethan, I'm gonna have to bite back on you there. First off, regardless of race, white guys do it all the time in corporate settings. They do it all the time in the NFL settings when you're talking about coaching trees, when you're talking about GM roles, when you're talking about a lot of these things, a lot of nepotism. If you're talking about the 49ers, the coach is Mike Shanahan. His father, Shanahan, was the coach for the Ravens as well. His dad doesn't actually officially have a job there. Mike Shanahan how do you think he got his first job? He was a coach under his dad.
What about the Cowboys?
Boom. Mike McCarthy. I mean, why can't I think of his name? Jerry Jones and Steven Jones? Steve Jones?
Maybe. I don't remember, honestly.
I don't know, whatever his son's name is.
Yeah.
His son's a GM. His son's making football decisions. So it happens everywhere. I just don't think we can be more critical of him doing it than other people doing it because it just happens everywhere.
I hope though, like he's like a real dad.
Yeah, Stephen Steven. Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, like if you actually want to do this, you have to fucking earn it. Like I climbed up here, I'm not gonna just fucking make you a fast pass.
You said
I mean, he kind of is making a fast pass a little bit. His leverage and influence is technically a fast pass.
So he shouldn't do it.
I'm on the side he shouldn't, as if the reason for him doing is it just to create a fast pass or just to fucking make a hallmark moment. Like I think for that moment to actually have weight and hold water, I would put it in front of like my kid and be like,
the only other time this ever happened is in MLB. Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. played together.
I gotta take. Let me know if this is dramatic, extreme. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but would it be wrong to say if LeBron doesn't see the pressure this puts on his son from making
Boom.
this statement so public,
Boom.
wouldn't this be extremely naive of LeBron then?
I think.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It
I
would
agree with
be
that.
terrible of him, man.
But-
Because then if his kid comes in and he fucking sucks, then
But
LeBron
I'll
So
say
he
this.
had to have talked. That's why, like the point,
That's
I
right,
question you
that's
asked.
boom. Yeah, that's right. Because if anything we can say
Hold
about
on,
LeBron,
Doc, what were you saying?
oh, I just finished my thought that like if he sucks, like his name is on the line, and there's just a lot of issues with it.
Yeah.
if anything we know about LeBron, forget his politics or whatever. Dude's a good dad. Dude's a
That's why I try to live with that. Like I
dude's
don't
a
even want to
great
assume
dad,
anyone's a
so-
bad parent unless
yeah,
otherwise, and
so
I
I
have
don't
nothing to
think-
say, so I have to assume he's a great dad.
I don't think he. Oh, but do you know what question's going to be asked at the interview? Like this wasn't this wasn't like
Invasive,
a,
like,
a
probing
sit
questions.
down interview. This was like a hey LeBron.
To LeBron or the son, because I think the son's gonna get interviewed also.
100%.
He's going to college.
When LeBron said it, it was like a.
I think this affects his collegiate career too, potentially. Like there's a lot. Like
There's a lot, dude.
there's a lot.
So is it okay to do this if you're not white? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying is it okay to do it at all because everybody
Yeah, exactly.
does it.
I was about to say that's not the point. Is not that it's like he's black. The point is that this is like you said, and I agree with this. We all said this too. Nepotism.
100%.
And I guess the question is, at the end of the day, to narrow it down, is nepotism good or bad?
So should the son of my owner, the owner of my I said my owner, God forbid, the owner of my company, should he be fired because he's not the best employee?
I mean, if they have a standard, like if you're not meeting a certain standard, you're supposed to get fired. Yeah, he should be fired. But if he's like just floating above the line, just annoying people that he's floating above the line, he has his position. Well, I mean, that sucks. But
the father can see it as I'm grooming him.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. We can't say
The only time I think it's wrong is when the son clearly like just doesn't have the merit for it. Like even in the merit, like you still at the end of the day, it's a meritocracy. You still have to prove yourself. The only issue is when you're not allowing them or publicizing their merits. Like in a company, like you said earlier, it's easier to hide that stuff.
correct. I completely agree.
That's why they get away with it. Whereas with this is different. This NBA, this requires you to actually perform. You got to be able to make these shots, make these blocks, make these steals, get like you and last those entire minutes throughout the entire game. Like you got to be able to do it. And if he's not,
to his son's credit, I mean, even if he's not the best player or the highest ranked player, he's still training every day, still working out, he's still pursuing it with as much as he can. So
you can't say it's not LeBron's dream. It's also the son's dream.
It's the son's dream. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where we're stuck at, Ethan. Is it okay? And sometimes.
All right, this podcast is sponsored by Angel Blinds. Shout out Angel Blinds. It's a local business based in Atlanta, Georgia. Check them out. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, to your bedroom, to your dining room. They even customize kids' blinds with their favorite superhero or princess. Make sure you get Iron Man. He's the best. Shout out. With our promo code FDT, our audience gets 10% off their first purchase. You can find them on Facebook at Angels Blinds or their Instagram at Angels_Blinds. Shout out Angels Blinds.
Something isn't okay to do.
Hold on. He complains about this happening, then turns around and does it. How is that okay? So your issue, it seems like, isn't necessarily nepotism, but more so what? The contradiction? Like, has LeBron come out and said something where he's against this, like other people doing that?
I've heard him come out and speak about the lack of African American coaches in the NFL.
Okay.
So he said that's not a meritocracy. So what Ethan's pointing out is he's saying that he complains about that not being a meritocracy, and then uses coercion to basically give a nudge to.
I mean, that's fair.
But this is another thing.
Okay.
This is another thing. He said his last year will be played with his son. Who knows what LeBron's going to play like on his last year? LeBron might not be the box office attraction.
He didn't say he wants to play a full. Like, he just says his last year.
When before
like,
he
I'm not
retires.
leaving the NFL at least with saying I played with my son.
That can be.
That's pretty cool. Dope,
4
though.
years though, when LeBron's not even a good player anymore. You know what I'm saying?
He's not averaging those shots anymore.
Exactly. So there's no way we can just. This isn't as definite as far as like me just saying my son is the GM. That's it. Son's the GM. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey man, look, all he did was. You call it coercion. Now I'm even further away from that. You call it coercion. He incentivized his son being picked.
Yeah.
He did not
But
tell
you
you
could
to go
argue
pick
it's a
his
level
son.
of coercion in a
No.
way.
He presented you with information. I want to play with my
But
son.
the reason why I see it, I'm gonna try to make this argument because I agree with you. I think it's an incentive more so than coercion. But you could make the argument. I'm gonna try here because, like you said, when LeBron moves somewhere, the economy is affected.
Boosted immediately.
So no matter what, LeBron is gonna get signed somewhere. He's guaranteed a job.
Correct.
And a bountiful career and effect on the economy with his career, no matter what.
Except if he sucks.
I'm talking about LeBron specifically still.
No,
now we
I
get
know.
to the
I'm
Sun.
saying if he sucks, nobody's gonna go watch the game. When Jordan played for the Wizards, those seats were not full. So LeBron has to be LeBron still.
But was Michael
And
Jordan still
that-
bad when he was with the Wizards?
He averaged 20, but he wasn't Jordan. It wasn't winning games.
But that was different because Jordan, it's Jordan the Bulls. Whereas
Yeah.
LeBron, it's not Jordan the Lakers, Jordan Cleveland, Jordan in Miami. It's just, or not Jordan, I'm
so
sorry,
that
LeBron.
point, since
It's
we're
just
actually talking
LeBron.
sports here.
Fair.
I'm not gonna. I have to. I hate defending LeBron, but I have to say this: what LeBron has done for the NBA, what Jordan did for marketing and PR work and branding, will never be seen again. Correct? What LeBron has done for the NBA will never ever be done again. Do you hear me? He went to Cleveland, a small city market, boosted their economy, left, went to Miami, right? Marquee in the NBA, gave them a ring, right? So he made a small team, a small market team, relevant that wasn't relevant at all. So now they're the city's pumping money because TV rights, media rights, and all that stuff, hosting events, everything. Okay, now he goes to Miami, a marquee place, wins 2 rings, boosts them back up, goes to Cleveland, gives them a ring, fixes their economy again, or boosts their economy again, then goes to the Lakers, who haven't been in the playoffs for 6 seasons prior to him going, gives them a ring. Now the Lakers are back, the most popular team in the NBA. Every day we're talking about the Lakers.
Upsetting, I'm not gonna lie to you.
So as far as what people look at it like, oh, he's hopping. This man's literally, if you're looking at it from if you're Adam Silver, the GM of the commissioner, this man is literally going to places that will boost the NBA's reputation, and he's going there and
he's growing
literally
the NBA.
growing the NBA.
Yeah.
So as far as like us being critical of stuff like that, sometimes maybe he's earned it. Maybe he's earned the right to say my son could. Can any of us see LeBron not being?
I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. The effect he has, which is why it's a level of coercion.
No, because another person would argue the same thing.
That way, though.
Say that, Doc.
I mean, behind closed doors, you can leverage that. Like, you can just say, like, "Well, look what I do for this city."
Boom.
Like, and at that point, it's coercion.
Why? Did you lie? Why is it coercion if I gave you a fact?
Just utilizing that against me.
No, I didn't.
You're
I gave you
weaponizing
more information to make your decision with.
But
Would
that
you have
might
preferred-
benefit you more so than me, which
So would
comes
you have
today as
preferred-
look up the definition of coercion real quick.
So would you have preferred not being informed?
I mean, I think
mean,
coercion can be
dude,
informed or
like-
uninformed.
Yeah, like as long as you're offering something, like you could technically coerce people into making a decision in your direction if you're offering them things. You know what I mean?
He didn't offer anything. He said he wants to play with his son.
Well, that's what we're saying. There's a possibility.
It's their
for
greed. But that's not coercion. So my problem with that is it coercion if the only thing that I'm appealing to you is your greed?
Hold on. Coercion, the practice of pursuing someone to do something by using
Force or threats. Not happening here.
Okay,
Not happening. You're both wrong. He didn't coerce anybody.
Similar force,
He
compulsion,
could threaten
constraint.
to take his like economic value with him wherever
Nope.
he goes.
Another thing about
he
LeBron.
could, but he
another thing.
hasn't,
Let me
but-
say another fact about LeBron that people always get wrong. He moved from team to team, but guess what he did every single time? Finished his contract. LeBron has never been traded. LeBron's never forced his way out of a team. LeBron has always finished his contract and went to the next place for free. Finished his whole contract. Never left a day early, a minute early. Every contract he's seen through. KD didn't. Kyrie didn't. Steph Curry didn't. Oh, Steph Curry did. Obviously, he's been on the same team. But all these other guys
We're
didn't.
not claiming
Kawhi
that
didn't.
this is coercion, though. We're claiming that there's a possibility for him to be able to coerce people.
Like you
Yes,
said,
I
he may
mean-
not be the best player in the league, but his fan base alone will fill arenas just to see him play with his son.
Yes and no. How many games are in an NBA season? 70-something. By game 10, if y'all is not playing good, I'm not going to go watch.
But if they're playing good, you'll
then
be
yeah.
able to say,
Yeah,
I
went-
watched LeBron and his son
No,
play in the
because
NBA.
Then you're saying his son is good. So we're back to meritocracy. His son deserved it.
Well, it comes back to the point I made. Like, it comes down to people betting on either a son being good and being able to witness probably how they would word it, the greatest duo, father-son
The only
dynamic,
one
blah,
in
blah,
the
blah.
NBA ever.
Okay, boom. That could be crazy marketed. And the financial gain from that marketing potential idea
So that's
is
coercion.
crazy. Then the other side,
No, because you're doing the math in your head and saying I can make this much money off of this opportunity, and me just letting you know I want to play with my
but
son.
the whole
That's
point,
on
well, the
y'all.
whole point is, but the point is comes down. LeBron's not dumb, and people aren't dumb.
Yeah,
and
he's
you
not
understand.
dumb. So you're acute.
And LeBron has inside knowledge, knowing like
No, that's not inside knowledge. His contract would be up.
I was saying relationship with his son. The reason why it's coercion because he knows whether or not his son's going to be good or bad, depending on. I would assume if that's his son's goal,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's wrong of me to say, you'd be dumb not to seek your dad's advice.
So my question
Or
is,
training.
so what part of it is on the team that says I want to pick Bronny because I'll get LeBron?
That's why we're saying like it depends on the kid's ability.
So if the opportunity of coercion exists, does that mean
Yeah.
there's opportunities for coercion everywhere then? So like just because the opportunity
Yeah.
exists does not make it coercion. Is
Fair,
what I'm
no.
saying.
At that
And
point,
him-
I agree
and I'm
because
still
it's not
stating-
a threat, but
and I'm
it's definitely
still-
there.
But
The
and
possibility.
he's still stating, I want to play with my son in my final year. He didn't say multiple years.
just planted
he
the
didn't
seed is all.
Sure, he did. He gave you information. What you do with it. Now, if you want LeBron or you don't want LeBron, you're not gonna draft his son. He just told you he wants to play with his son. Everybody's saying, "Oh, LeBron's not dumb."
I mean,
because
obviously,
he's
as of
not
right
dumb.
now, it's not coercion. But the thing is, once it becomes like whether or not his son is good or not, whether if he goes to college, depending on how he performs in college, but once it's real, once it's finally real, he is now in the draft.
Yes.
He is registered name in the draft.
Mhm.
You're right. We're going on hypotheticals here. We generally don't know,
Correct.
and we are leaning on the heavily on the notion that if he's good, you could definitely leverage the level of coercion. Like it's LeBron, me. You guys know me. Look at my stats. Look at my dynasty I've
I
created.
don't even think
And
if
now look
he's
at my son.
good.
What we
No.
can do. What are you
Like,
saying
if
about?
he's good,
That's
I think
eliminated because he
if
said
he's
it.
good, he's just gonna get drafted. They're gonna be like,
Boom.
"Fuck yeah! Why don't we want this good kid and his dad? Like, he's just gonna get picked." I
Regard-
think if bad, that's when LeBron's gonna have to start rubbing some elbows to be
So
like,
we'll
But,
see.
"Wow."
and that's the
Okay,
thing.
we'll see.
LeBron won't have to rub any elbows. Reason why it won't be coercion, you want to know why? Because he said it in 2022. His contract's not up for another year. He won't be a free agent until 2024. He won't have to say anything in 2024. He said it in 2022. You know what to do if you want me.
It depends on what the future looks like. I mean, if the kid genuinely isn't as good as, say, the other picks, but somehow he makes it into the team with his dad, it'll be obvious to everybody to be like, wow, he really wasn't as good as the other option that they had.
And it's going to be
But
harder for him.
everyone will know why he made it in. And that's where I'm saying, like, the nepotism will really show.
Yeah.
And it'll even show in game if he just can't perform, you know what I mean? And like they just start losing it or whatever happens, and like the coach will be like, "Wow, like I'm just playing him because his dad."
LeBron,
like,
yeah.
Boom.
I
First
could
off,
bench him and put in another player. Who's
First
better.
off, I don't think the son will get playing time just because his father was on is LeBron. That's not going to happen.
Playtime could be a stream. I can see that.
LeBron's been
Just
signing.
more so the pick, just the opportunity itself.
Boom. LeBron's not going to dictate anything in his final year in the NBA as far as what you're playing, your rotation, or whatever it is. You're going to play what you're trying to win. Regardless of it's a game of basketball. You're trying to win. If his son's good, his son's going to be good. But if his son sucks and he still gets drafted, that's on the NBA teams. LeBron said he wanted to play with his son.
I mean, it depends.
If his
more,
son doesn't get drafted, guess
depends
who
more
doesn't get to
public
play with his
statements
son?
He says. You think he's not going to say anything the entire time?
Exactly. And if his son's playing basketball, of course they're going to ask him. Now, if his son doesn't get drafted, guess what? If his son goes overseas, guess where LeBron's going? Overseas. That's why. That's not coercion. He said he want to play basketball with his son. Did he say where? It could be on a mountaintop in Chengfu, China.
Obviously, it was coercion. It just failed.
Like he can go to Spanish. He can be the G League. If his son gets accepted to the G League, LeBron will drop to the G League.
That's a real
for
father,
a year
though, to be honest
and play
with you.
with. So my point is, you know how much pressure it be from the son's point of view to be on that bench. Doc Rivers and his son. Doc Rivers coached his son. Doc Rivers' team drafted his son, and then he coached him for his first 7-8 years.
Point. That's actually a very valid point. Wow.
And Austin Rivers is still in the NBA, and he had to prove himself. There
was an issue with that either at the time, was there?
Yes.
There was?
People were upset because they felt he's just drafted. But Austin Rivers has dropped 40 before. Austin Rivers can play. So, but he's just his father. So he had to trade him. Mm-hmm. Give his son a chance to on his own too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I would hope that he puts out in front of his kid. Where he's just
that's
like,
real nepotism. He's in charge of who gets drafted as the head coach. You have input on that. LeBron doesn't have input on who a random team drafts.
I don't know, man. You just said he's able to fucking shift the financial tectonic plates of a city.
Yeah, that's around him. Because LeBron comes to you. See, this is all I'm saying. These are all factors that LeBron brings. Him knowing that he brings these factors has nothing to do with your decision. Your decision as a business person is whether you want to interact or any of these factors are worth it for you. He's telling you, this is what I come with. I'm going to go be where my son is. Now, it's your sneaky ass that's saying, I'm just going to draft him to the Bulls. I'm just going to draft him to the, fuck you. I'm going to draft him first. How about you? How about that?
But he knows there's going to be some competition going on.
There's going to be competition. Yeah,
but it's a product. I get what you're trying to say.
It's a product. He's a product. He's an employee.
His kid. Just like, we're going to draft him, and he doesn't get to play with his son just to be a dick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he literally is an employee of the NBA. So leverage, maybe.
Yo, but he's employee of the month, bro.
Every month. Every month he's employee of the month. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of faded towards I actually don't care. I just don't want to call it coercion. That was my point. I don't
Your
like the
point of contention. Yeah,
I don't like the word coercion because it's
like
not
10
coercion when it's not coercion when it's applied to other places.
You're right.
I think
after
now
that,
it's definitely not coercion. But I think once his kid's up and like if there's a possibility for
we're gonna be watching to see.
Yeah, because there's a possibility for it then.
Yeah,
and
that's what we're
when the nepotism will
and
show.
We'll know. And this is my point. I do agree. We'll know, and it will happen. Trust me, it will happen because there's always back chatter and all these sports type of things. We'll know because the report will come out who wants to draft Bronny before, and if that comes out, then we'll know.
All right.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at PodcastFDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all fake deep thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.
Peace.